I don't have any physical friends. I couldn't find friends who would allow me to discuss philosophy with them, and philosophy is a central part of who I am. My family also would not allow me to talk philosophy with them. I make videos on YouTube about my life and what it means, and share it with the community. I seek online friends that will embrace me for who I am. Physical friends are not very welcoming to philosophical exploration. Why will people not accept me for who I am and force me to keep quiet in their company? It can be challenging to find like-minded individuals for philosophical discussions, but it's essential to remember that people have diverse interests and comfort levels with certain topics. While some may not share your passion for philosophy, others might appreciate it. Keep reaching out online where you can connect with communities that share your interests. Acceptance and understanding often take time, so be patient in finding those who appreciate and embrace you for who you are. Is not allowing your son to discuss philosophy in their presence really being accepting of who they are? It doesn't matter if it's family or friends, because I have always had the same problem. People in my physical existence have never allowed me to talk philosophy in their presence. And how accepting is that of the person who I am? I had to cut all of the relationships out of my life, including my family. And even though I still might interact with them every once in a while, I now do not hold that relationship as being meaningful, because they will not allow me to make it meaningful with philosophy. Being allowed to be who you are is not being silenced. I can be who I am right now, right here in front of the camera, and I impose myself upon the world, and the audience, if they're watching, if they continue to watch, are forced to accept me for who I am. People might have a problem with who I am, but they're still forced to engage with who I am. I don't have to censor myself in front of the camera. Future Wendell, who watches this video after I'm done with it, will embrace who I am. Wendell, I really appreciate it every time you press the record button. It really does a lot for my life. Now, I might not have any friends, but I can be exactly who I am around the clock. Come be my friend in my Discord server just search for the video called My Discord Server, and I would love to talk to you personally there. The community is not exactly accepting of who I am, but at least I can still be who I am and not worry about what other people think. Even haters are forced to engage with who I am. A life without friends is much better than a life with friends that censor you. Here on the internet, I have a home. I have a place where I can relax and be who I am. There's a really scary world out there where people don't accept others for who they are. And I prefer to spend my time in here away from them. To some extent, I feel that I can only ever be myself when I am alone. I have to make too many compromises when I'm in the company of other people. Please do like the video. It lets the algorithm know to suggest it to other people, so you would be doing me a great service by liking that video. It's a lot more appealing to me to have a little community of my own in which we can all openly talk about philosophy, and that way I can be myself in the company of others. I think oftentimes in society, those who are soft-spoken oftentimes don't get listened to. Those who are gentle with their approach to life are often ignored. It isn't about finding a place in society in which we can speak freely. It's about creating a place in society in which we can speak freely. Sophia is dreaming of you subscribing. In my youth, I wanted so much to be accepted by others for who I am. But eventually, I grew out of that and started to create spaces for myself where I could be who I really am. The loners in life really have to make their own path. Unique people require unique solutions. The idea of freedom is so tightly connected to these topics because if others are not allowing me to be who I am, then I am not a free individual. So I lived a lot of my life in the company of others as a slave. But now I live in complete freedom all by my lonesome. I hesitated a little bit when I said slave, but what is a slave? Put them in their place and only allow them to talk about subjects that you approve of? Who is the master and who is the slave? Solitude really is the answer to finding freedom. But we must go in before we can go out. So we must work on ourselves first and fix our problems before we're ready for the public to potentially accept us for who we are. So I had to do a lot of internal work in order to be ready to communicate effectively with the public, because I wasn't communicating very well with anybody, because all I wanted to do was talk philosophy and they didn't want anything to do with that. So I had to refine how I present these ideas, and in doing so attempt to get a better result from the public. So how I present information will determine how people react to me. So I had to learn how to present information in a way that wasn't threatening. I appreciate your attention span. Until next time, this is Wendell, signing off.